your mind. How are you doing, everyone? Give a few minutes, see if people show up. We're going to talk about Iran and Trump, all kinds of other stuff. Hopefully, time for some my break. I have a kitty on my lap. My sound's good. Oh, sound can be good. Have my mic. Give it a minute. Yeah, my mic wasn't good. Have to give it for the 10-second delay. Well, there's a couple people watching. One of them's me. So. See how my voice sounds now. If the audio is good, if anyone can give me a mic check. Sounds all right. All right. Never miss a comment. All right. So let's see. Where was that? For Mission Impossible, Top Gun. Have a report from Rebel News we can watch. You got about 14 minutes. Okay. Hi, Not Know. Hi, Off the Hook. Hi, D Ocean. Good to see you. Hi, Patrick. Just going to wait for people to roll in and get on talking about this. I have Max beside me, my co-host. There's my co-host giving me kisses. You're such a good boy. And we'll show you the star of the show. There's the star of the show. You're such a good boy. Loud and clear. Awesome. All right, are you pleased now? All right, so let's, there's enough of you here now. Yes, I see you. You're wonderful. Got some very pertinent news on my community tabs about sleeper cells. Oh, hell yeah. You even got a notification. Wow. That happens very rarely for some people. All right. I know. He's much more important there. We'll have his face shown. There you go. All right. Let's take a look at this report from Rebel News, posted here on Odyssey.
Trump has announced that the United States has performed a surgical attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Let me read to you his post on Truth Social moments ago. He said, "We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for attention to this matter."
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan.
Now, I have some thoughts on this. The first is that it's no surprise. I mean, I suppose the timing might be a surprise, but even that Trump alluded to the other day. Trump has called for the removal of Iranian nukes for more than a decade, even before he ran for office.
For such a
He must
long
have done it
time.
100 times. If you don't believe me, just check Twitter or his video comments.
Don't let Iran have nuclear weapons. That's my only thing I have to tell you today. Don't let them have it. They would have never had them, including Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. That's all. They can't have nuclear weapons. I wanted to make a deal with them. No nuclear weapons. You can't have nuclear weapons. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. That was the only thing. I just didn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I said, we're going to make a great deal. Everybody's going to be happy. You're going to be rich as hell again. Everything's going to be great.
His explanation for this is as simple as it is obvious. Iran is run by a death cult. The Ayatollahs, they long for an apocalypse, and they've showed that. Letting them have nukes would be tantamount to letting a terrorist group have nukes, as opposed to a more rational state like China or India. Trump's vision of America first does not mean pacifism or appeasement. It means America isn't into nation building or into foreign entanglements. A surgical strike is the opposite of an entanglement. It's like when Trump lobbed a few cruise missiles at Syria in his first term, or when he cleaned out ISIS in a few weeks. Short and sharp.
Yep, that's what you do, right?
Trump also
That's how
didn't
you
risk
make peace.
Americans. He let Israel's Air Force clean up Iranian air
Yeah, they
defenses
weren't going to
for a
let this
week.
one go
Qatar
at
paid
all.
influencers online to be talking about no war for Israel, but Netanyahu didn't ask for U.S. intervention. The opposite, actually. Since the terrorist attack against Israel on October 7th, 2023, Netanyahu has wanted
Because
America
that's
to
when it all
stop
started.
telling
Hi, Chloe.
Israel to fight with one hand tied behind its back, like Biden did.
Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies. Secretary Blinken assured me that the administration is working day and night to remove these bottlenecks. I certainly hope that's the case.
People forget how anti-American Iran has been under the mullahs. Death
Do
to
we?
America is their slogan. They kidnapped American diplomats in the 70s. They murdered 200 U.S. Marines in
Do we talk about the Shah of Iran, how they unseated the Shah, the other interventions they've done into Iranian politics? You know, it wasn't just Iran woke up one day and said, hey, death to America. That's a great slogan. How about we use that one?
Lebanon. They were a large menace in Iraq, still are to this day. They're likely responsible for most U.S. deaths in Iraq. They harbored the Taliban after 9/11. They tried to assassinate Trump personally.
You were
They are America's enemy as much as Israel's enemy. Now, Israel wiped out Hezbollah and the bulk of Iran's military and terrorist
Hi,
regime,
Steve. Good to see
with
you.
the U.S. doing the
Hi,
one
Chloe.
special mission that Israel does not have the technology to do.
Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
No one could possibly think that the world isn't safer today. This is not the start of a war, let alone a world war.
No.
Russia has made it clear it's going to stay out of this. If anything, this clears the way for the next round of Abraham Accords, the peace treaties between Israel and other Muslim countries. Watch the price of oil in the days ahead. I predict it will not go up. Things are more stable in the Middle East now, not less so. In terms of regime change, Most of the world, except for Qatar-paid
Good to see you,
influencers,
Steve.
want the Ayatollahs to go, and the Shah's son could be a successor. The Iranian people are largely liberal and secular and educated and somewhat wealthy. It's not like Afghanistan or Somalia, which are failed states.
Right?
Iran could move forward under a normal government, but even if it doesn't, a defanged Ayatollah is not much of a risk to anyone. Their main risk in the weeks ahead, I think, is an Islamist terrorist cell in the West. In fact, that's precisely what Keir Starmer said to Trump this week. According to the Daily Telegraph newspaper, Starmer warned that Iranian sleeper cells in the UK could be activated if
Hmm.
America does something in Iran. But that's a U.S. immigration and police problem, not a U.S. foreign affairs or military problem. Canada, well, Canada has no role other than issuing press releases that no one of any consequence considers, except that in recent weeks, the Israeli government has warned that members of the Ayatollah's regime may be fleeing to Canada. That's where they would join hundreds of Iranian operatives working unmolested by police here right now.
Hmm.
Look, the world is more peaceful today than it was before, and America's reputation is markedly stronger than it was 6 months ago under Biden. Whether you're Russia, China, North Korea, or Yemen, it's pretty obvious now that when Trump tells you you have 60 days to negotiate a peace deal, he means it.
So that was interesting, we'll call it. I trust half of what I see and even less of what they tell me. No, Loretta's not fooled. Don't worry about that. Off the hook. So what really happened there? Well, a few days ago, we remote viewed those earthquakes in Iran, and determined that those were probably done by the U.S. and Trump. And then a few days later, what do? They try their bunker busters. So I figured, yeah, that was a preemptive strike. Trying to soften up the ground, maybe, because I don't think that was natural at all. I don't know who does. Oh, I got to feed those ducks. Yeah, we saw lots of aliens too. I think they seem to have some intervention of some part, but I think they were more like observers. We usually see them as observers. Last time they had some type of intervention. Do you think that they stopped the bunkers from being busted? Because we don't actually have any proof that the bunker busters worked. You know, they could have gone in. We don't know how deep the tunnels are. Let's see, how deep are Iranian tunnels? So they're talking like getting something like 20 meters down. Okay. Excuse me. You're saying it's 20 meters. I don't believe that. That's what a Google search says, is they're 20 meters below. Which really, does that make much sense? If you know that a bunker buster can reach 20 meters, aren't you going to go deeper? Wouldn't you go like a mile? I would, you know. They can get those, There's a lot of talk of them using nuclear-powered boring machines in the U.S. I don't see any reason they couldn't have them in Iran as well, seeing as they do have fissile material. Yeah, where are the satellite pics? That's a good question, right? Where are the satellite pics with showing us radiation? If they busted up like they said, Israel said that they had busted up a nuclear power plant, but there was no radiation. Hi, Nina. So did they bust up a nuclear plant? Apparently not. Otherwise, there'd be radiation everywhere. Three in a row of what? I'm going to make them rich, just no hooks, no nooks, he said. No, I don't think they have. I doubt that those tunnels are 20 meters deep. I'd be a lot smarter than that. I'd dig find a mountain that was a few miles, across, and start at the base of that and start digging towards the middle of that mountain. That would be my plan. They sent 14 missiles. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Yeah, the bunker busters. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, they said they could get 20 meters down, which I don't even know if that's deep enough. Total of 14. Yeah, they may not have even scratched the surface on those bases. And how many bases are there? Now they're claiming that these enrichment machines are the size of a washing machine, so you could have them anywhere. Right? Yeah, I didn't see any retaliation. Yeah, I know the bunker buster method, how it works and all that. Yeah. But what proof do they have of any of this? What proof do they have? I was looking for images here of their enrichment. They have this image here, but that, just because there's containers there, it doesn't necessarily mean that those containers are filled with weapons grade nuclear material. There's absolutely no way of telling what's inside that. That could be, medical grade, power grade. There's different grades of it. They hit 4 bases. Okay, so we got 4 hits. Sure. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, it is hard to verify anything. Like the Israelis claim that they have, spies in there. And this doesn't seem to be a secretive picture. This seems to be an official visit. It's not like he's clandestinely, going to these places. They seem quite proud of it, Look at their scientists here. Here's Ahmadinejad. Did they overthrow him too? Wonder why the Iranians would be mad at the U.S. or Canada or Israel. They weren't happy with the overthrowing of different regimes in their country, or what? Let's see where it is. Lots of people talking. Give me a second, who is ever backstage there? Oh, it's Nina. Hi, Nina.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Yeah. So
What do you-
what's going on in Iran now?
Right?
Are they striking back, or are we getting away with this, or?
I don't know. Yeah, it looks like they fancied up some water heaters. As an American, I apologize. You're shooting from the hips with no facts? Well, exactly. I'm just looking at this as an observer. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the dynamic there. Like, because I thought, like, Iran had some buddies there, but nobody's stepping up for him, I guess, eh?
I guess not. Russia's staying out of it.
Yeah. That's interesting, right?
Do you
I guess
trust the
it's-
proof you've been shown there off the hook? Is this, your absolutely truth here? These guys, they know exactly
What
what's
is
going
the-
on. I don't know.
Well-
She shared a video of these guys here. I don't know if I can play it.
Let's see.
Probably not.
As long as there's no music, right?
Depends on the channel, right? If they allow their stuff to be shared.
Okay. Most of them do, as long as you give them the credit. You don't taking it for yourself and making money off it. That's what they don't like.
I'll
There you
give
go.
it a shot.
That's the guy. Oh yeah, so I didn't see that. I was like, I'll wait until tomorrow. So how did the address? He was addressing the nation. What did he say? Anything interesting or?
Not really. Not really. I think he threatened them with more attacks. So
I saw the other post, after that first one, where he, threatened that if they did anything, there would be dire consequences. So, I guess Iran's sitting all by himself. They got no allies. Not much they can do, I guess, eh? Unless they're insane.
yeah, I don't know. Do they have enough conventional weapons to flatten Israel? But
Well, that's just it. Like,
now the U.S. is in it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
well,
the thing. Right?
they were in it before, but
Of course. Yeah. Well, whatever Israel wants, Israel's going to get. From as far as Trump's concerned. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting times.
well, that's an hour. I'll give them a couple minutes of playtime.
Rob, if you've switched it, we can't see it.
Is there any point in particular you'd like to us to look at off the hook?
Okay, here we go.
That's pretty good.
Spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very interesting.
Wow, the
That has got to be
underwhelming.
the shortest press conference he's ever done. That has got to be the shortest announcement he's ever done. When they took out al-Baghdadi, that was roughly a 45-minute speech that he gave. This was less than 4 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Came out, gave the speech. Rob, if we have some, by the way, if you notice who was there, you had Hegseth, you had Rubio, and you have JD right there standing next to him after the speech was given. Rob, if you have some of the clips, let's show some of the clips of what happened, what these explosions look like, and how I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I know you guys do as well.
Jeez.
This is Iran. Rob, which one is this?
All right. So there we go.
It's a mushroom cloud from Iran right now.
What is this, Rob? Rob, do you know where that is?
That's at Fordo. That's one of the
Fordo.
three cases that were
Fordo.
hit.
Okay, got it.
Oh, no. Dude.
Rob, do you have the one with Esfahan where the lady is in the back reacting to it?
That's horrific.
I can grab that. Hang on one.
I texted it to you. I think it's in the group text that we have. Tom, what are your thoughts with this? Well, I have a
Right,
lot of
Loretta?
thoughts I want to share, but what is your thoughts on this? What's going on?
Well, my initial thoughts are last week, countries and companies have been selling weapons to each other for 200 years, since the invention of the cannon, and some other countries said, hey, how much for your cannon? And I don't mind it if Israel buys our weapons and conducts an action that they think is important. I also believe that Iran can't have nuclear weapons. And I didn't want boots in the ground. I didn't even want a pilot in the air. I really wanted us to be supporting the mission for Iran not to have nuclear weapons and not be able there. And now we've done it. And I was hoping this
Couldn't
was
they
a
have
surgical
negotiated
strike,
to send in
single strike,
inspectors?
in, out, get it done. But even in the president's short words just now, he said there are other targets, many other targets. And that sounds like a
I
lot
don't know
more
who these guys
engagement
are, Mr. Mission.
than I really hope to see. I hope that this is over,
Right, Jeremy.
that incredible video we just saw, I hope that is a precision strike, an authentic video, because that certainly looks like something just disintegrated. I hope what disintegrated was Iran's nuclear capabilities. But I'm a little processing what I just heard, Pat. It's like there are many other targets. It's like I don't want to be in, but I'm glad to help.
There are many other targets.
Two.
Yeah, that's true.
If this does happen, will Iran be retaliating to what just happened right now with the attacks that took place? 3, net.
You support the president just by striking 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. 60% said yes. 40% said no. Thoughts, Nina?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree on that. I mean, yeah, it's,
I thought they were negotiating.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Isn't this supposed to be the president of peace? Isn't that why you guys voted him in? Right? And what does he do? Oh, just, shoots on 3 things,
like with ground penetrating radar, they could know where every base is and have them inspected. There's almost nothing can be hidden these days. If there's a cavity in the ground, you're going to be able to find it, especially if they let them into the land and use radar systems in there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they were negotiating and then they just decided to bunker bust them. They claimed I heard that there was no casualties, which is
That's good.
thank God for that,
Mm-hmm.
thank the good God.
Yeah, whatever that
But
means.
yeah, whatever that means. I'm not mad at the people's opinions. I'm not mad at anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, we just gonna have to assume that they know more than we do
Yeah.
behind the scenes of what's going on. We don't know anything. Like, there's got to be a reason. So we'll just have to try and look at it in the positive way that, if there was some kind of threat, that it's gone now then. Like, I don't know.
I
How
don't know.
else will
They claim that they blew up a nuclear facility. The Israelites did, and apparently there was no show of nuclear material in the blast or in the aftermath. I don't know if that's true or not.
So maybe they were wrong. Maybe they didn't have it.
Maybe we'll have
They
to
just
see if
thought
there's
they.
any, nuclear material coming out of this one.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, because I
far,
mean, I thought the buzz is that they never had any of those kind of weapons. It's kind of a joke actually from the 90s with Bush with the weapons of mass destruction. Turns out there's
mm,
nothing, right? It kind of feels like that again.
it
You know,
does.
they're hyping it up. Now I don't know. This could all just be smoke and mirrors, just distraction, right?
Yeah.
And who knows? All we see is some footage from what? How do we know that this is a legit
Apparently,
footage?
apparently there's satellite images of it. So
Okay,
the
so
strikes the strikes happened apparently. So
okay, all
we
right,
can give that absolute credence, I guess.
okay.
Um, you
Well,
know,
they were done in places where there's no civilians, so that's good. At least they
yeah,
weren't shooting up people. Um, and if there is no nuclear, well, that's good. That means that maybe they were wrong then, or it is just this was all just planned all along. This
yeah,
is smoke and
good
mirrors. You
show of
know,
force. A
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at
We
us. We're
see
top
that.
gods. We just saved you all now from attacks
Yeah,
from Iran, right? Because everything is Iran's fault. Doesn't matter what it
yeah.
is. Iran. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, are they falling short on their Russian, you know, enemy? Do they want to have a sustained war with Iran? There was talks of having a 20-year war with Russia by the powers that be. Maybe they've shifted over to Iran. Um, you know, being unable to put boots on the ground by escalating the conflict. You know, I don't know.
Well, Iran is the last country on their list that they had back then, right? 30 years ago, the Bushes started. So Iran is the last one. So they're right on target. And Bush or Trump is just finishing off the job from the previous presidents here, right? And so
Mhm.
this is the last one. And I'm assuming that there's probably a shit ton of oil and probably gold. And I wouldn't even be surprised that there are some really hidden gems from the old days
Yeah,
buried there.
could
That
be.
they'll be very valuable to have. There could be a lot of our lost history and all kinds of things buried there. I think there's something about Iran. That used to be a very important place. So so yeah, so of course they're gonna want to go in there, and they're gonna of course say, oh yeah, weapons of mass destruction. We got to go in there. We are, So I don't know. Did they kind of peel off that now? Then they don't really need to do boots on the ground, anyways. Nowadays, it's all just drones and
Yeah,
that kind of thing, right? So you don't need to have that. So and they have all these visions. They know where stuff is. They're doing. I don't know. It's
yeah,
We'll just have to see how it plays out. How it's going to play out now.
yeah. I've
Or
done
or
enough showing people on how they have total command. What they want is total command of the battleground and
mhm.
surveillance. So they have. I can't see how they could build shielded bunkers, which is what I guess the claim is. I don't know if they're shielded. They say they're shielded bunkers, but are those shielded for radiation so that it doesn't show the fissile material, or is it shielded from bunker busters? I don't know, right?
Yeah, who knows?
Putin said he was going to help, did he?
Who, Iran? Yeah, they haven't done anything so far. He's probably, Putin must be just chuckling, probably egging Iran on, go and do something. Because he wants to, I don't know.
He could
Oh.
be. That could be a plan.
You're not going to let that
Who
go.
just came out and gave a
Here.
talk, with the message that he gave. What is his reaction? He knew he didn't have the weapons to be able to get these things done. As much as we hear about Israel's Air Force and as much power as people give to Israel, guess what? Israel needed America to get the job done. If we want to talk about that, for the longest time, we've been told Israel has the best Air Force. If you did, why couldn't you get this job done? You needed Americans to get this job done. So it still validates that America has the greatest military in the world. 4 is now, let's just say Iran does happen. A part of this is to American people. The other part is to the Iranian people. To the American people, what's about to happen to Iran? To the Iranian people, what are you going to do with the small little finite opportunity timeline that you have to create the revolution that you want in Iran? I'm specifically talking to the Iranians that live in Iran. What are you going to do?
I do agree this has been
Is it Reza
planned out.
Pahlavi? We have a clip about how Reza Pahlavi, when he was asked just yesterday, his answer is still vanilla. It's still a vanilla answer that he's given. He cannot give a backbone answer already. Yes, no. The Iranian people that want to see something happening here, he still is given a vanilla answer. I don't understand this guy. Get out the way or say you're going to do it. Stop playing with people in Iran that are wanting some kind of a decision to be made. So those are the things I want to talk about. But let me go to the people that are, what's the split on poll right now, Rob? I'm just curious. I don't know what it's going to be. I want to know how many people voted, and I want to know what they're saying, Rob. What are you noticing with the poll of who's for it and who's against it? Sounds about right. So 9,000 of you have voted. 60% of you guys support what he did. 40% of you guys don't support it. It actually makes sense to me. It seems like the 40% right now is louder than the 60%. So let me explain to what I mean by that. The 40% is much more louder. So a lot of people are thinking it's 80% that don't want it, but quite frankly, 60% are saying yes with all the stuff that is taking place. One credit to Trump's camp. One credit to Trump's camp I want to give. I can't give a lot, but I'll just give you one credit here. This is not easy.
Kinesis is an entirely new way to invest, with all the tools you need to make your money work better for you, whether you're a seasoned trader.
To go through watching the political party, people who got you elected, now saying impeach him, this is not what I voted for, this is not what I wanted, and you still having the thick skin to say, we're going to get the job done. And on top of that, nobody leaked anything the last 4 or 5 days, which means he has taken the circle of everybody having access, and whether it's he or Susie Wiles, one by one, they're saying, nope, you're not in this circle. You're in this circle, you're in this circle, but you're not in this circle. He's out, they're out, this person's out. Paul Sabat is wrong based on what he said just yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm willing to bet they got rid of all the people that they did not want to know the decision was being made or a threat was made, a business type of threat. I swear to God, if I find that anything was leaked and it was because of you, you're the first person I'm firing publicly. Very simple. They stayed united and then they shocked the world. They shocked Iran. They shocked everybody. Nobody knew except for the people that were involved. That part, you got to give credit to them. It's very hard to do. It's not an easy thing to do, to get the right people that are unified on an issue like this. But I'm going to pause because I called yesterday. I've been on the phones all day. We're not in Florida, obviously, but I've been on the phones all day, whether it's with Iranians, those who are in the higher ups in the Iranian community, whether it's the top journalist who has tens of millions of people that watch him every day in Iran. He is the guy in Iran that everybody watches to see what the conditions are there, or it's people that are involved geopolitically. I've been speaking to a lot of different people last 24, 40 hours to see what's going to be happening with a lot of questions that maybe many of you guys may be asking, but I'll pause. Brandon, I'll go to you. What are you thinking with all these things? Because you've had certain positions and you've been able to say, as a guy that you got your bachelor's degree in national security, you got your master's in national security. This is all you study. This is.
Hi, G, how you doing?
Hey, everybody. I am doing wonderful in this obviously upside down world.
Hey.
Somewhat, eh?
Hey, Nina, good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah,
has been in the works for a long time. A lot of people have wanted this for many years, 30, 40 years. You know, pretty much every president, everybody running for president, everybody wanted to go at Iran, but I guess they never had the actual impetus to do it without.
Yeah. Yeah, this all started back in 1979. It was Jimmy Carter and the Iran-Contra affair, and all of this. Yeah, they. What's really unfortunate.
Was that also with Oliver North Gold?
Oh, yes, all of that was.
Yeah.
That drama series, man, that ran for a long time.
That did.
Oh man. Yeah, it's just unfortunate though. With the one thing I can say for Iran is what they have been doing to their people is. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Okay. I've heard different views on that. Some people think that they're horrible to their people. Some people say they're nice to their people. A lot of people have been fleeing, so I guess we can get some eyewitness accounts of what's going on, like in the country as for lifestyle anyway, you know.
Yeah, it flipped.
So in what way?
Oh, well, prior to 1979, women were dressed just like we were over here in the Western world.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they could go to school, they could drive, they could do all those things. And now look at, they're all in burqas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I guess I'm coming from the feminine point of view.
Now, how many times was Iran overthrown? Once or twice?
Well, they took it away from the Shah in 79. And then that Khomeini, I think he had it for like 10 or 15 years, I want to say. I don't know their exact history, but yeah, he was pushed out with the current one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Ahmadinejad myself. He seemed to say good stuff. I don't know if he was good to his people or not, but I kind of liked him.
Yeah. Just, you know.
Am I thinking of the right guy there? He was in for a while.
Yeah, I'm not really super up on that whole Middle East thing. But yeah.
It's definitely something that's been going on for a long time over there.
Well, yeah.
It's always back there.
It is.
It's always something. Yeah. Seriously, like something needs to change over there for sure.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking is whatever happens, I don't care who they want to rule them, but rule in a more decent manner. That's all.
Yeah, Ahmadinejad, he served from 2005 to 2013. I think they overthrew him too.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's just been a revolving door.
Yeah, of constant intervention in their politics. Like a friend of mine was asking me, we got to hate the Iranians because they chant death to America. I'm like, yeah, but do you know we overthrew their government a couple of times, you know?
Yeah. Mea culpa.
Kind of makes sense if they came and overthrew the Canadian government a couple of times. I'd probably scream death to America too, you know.
Well, Loretta asked, how did the women allow this to happen? I mean, it was brutal. There were thousands of women who revolted and they lost their lives pretty much, or got sent to re-education camps. And they still, to this day, if they buck the system, they go to a woman's school.
Yeah, it used to be a lot of that stuff back in the day. Yeah,
still is here in Iran.
Yeah. Well, now this house used to be here too, but I can only imagine being a woman back there. Yeah.
But I didn't mean to segue it into that conversation. Originally, I was going to talk about how things transpired the last 48 hours.
Well, it's good to get the history too, you know, like you
A little
can't
bit,
really
yeah.
look at what's going on today without looking at the history of this. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
didn't
Same
just
bullshit.
start yesterday, you know,
Yeah.
or when you know, when Israel lobbed a few missiles into Iran and killed their negotiators, you know. So it started
And
long before that.
wasn't it the Iranian leader that got killed in a helicopter or plane crash or something just a couple of years ago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was
Mm.
kind of suspect too, right? So it looks like they cut the
Yeah.
head off. But the head keeps growing back on. No,
Let's see.
there's
Was that
another head.
Ahmadinejad?
It does.
I
It
think they
does
overthrew
indeed.
Ahmadinejad, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they killed him.
Scotty's asking if they're Muslim. Is Iranian Muslim or no?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, big
yeah.
time. Big
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they lead the choir over there.
Yeah. They're like the Orthodox.
There you
Well,
go.
according to the whole, according to what we're seeing, how this one world religion thing is gonna pan out, the Muslims and the Jews are gonna.
Off the hook. I don't read every comment. I'm doing other stuff. Don't get me mad.
What's going on?
I don't know. Off the hooks.
Yeah, the Muslim and the Jews are going to band together. So I don't know if this is just a little, I don't know, lovers quarrel before the big day, or I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Scotty, I did eat duck eggs. They're good. They're eggy. Sorry. I was just hitting the. Yeah, but what I found very interesting, and I think it was very strategic, is when Trump came on the television last night to tell us what he did. It was for 5 minutes. He said, this is why, this is what we did. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And, yeah. He wasn't going to explain himself. And I think it's strategic right now.
Of course. Yeah.
Hmm.
But he's also quick to take credit for it, so I guess so that maybe they didn't think it was Israel, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to make sure
Definitely
that, hey, yeah, it
same.
was us. Yeah, don't go
Yeah.
after those. Yeah.
Yeah, those precise kaboomas were from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we looked at the apartment building they hit last week and the precision they have with that. They can get the right height, the right person, the right apartment, one strike, one missile. That's it.
Right. Yeah, we've seen that already. So
Yeah.
they must have gotten the target, I'm assuming. So if there was no, radiation coming up, then I guess there was none of that in there. So again,
nobody's dissing you off the hook.
Oh no, I'm missing something entirely.
Me
I'm
too.
sorry.
I can only pay attention to so many things at once. And
Yeah, I love Off the Hook.
I'm dissing her. So.
Yeah. Oh no, we wouldn't do that. Just sometimes it's hard to talk and read it, and all that. This is what I'm going to come. Conspiracy Channel said that people in Iran saw those little orbs, the little UFO orby things. Yeah. 2 days before this happened.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, those could be sensors for mapping.
I think those are us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
we have plasma orbs we can use as data and sensors, data transmitters and sensors. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. Yeah.
So here all the hippies are thinking, there's, spiritual things or whatever, and it's just us flying on.
Yeah. There is a plausible explanation for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Forget So plasma communication refers to the use of plasma and ionized gas to facilitate or disrupt radio communications, particularly involving situations involving high-speed vehicles like spacecraft, hypersonic aircraft. When these vehicles re-enter the Earth's atmosphere or travel at high speeds, the surrounding air is ionized, creating plasma sheets that can block or attenuate radio signals, a phenomenon known as radio blackout. Researchers are exploring ways to mitigate or even utilize this plasma for communication purposes.
Wow.
Looks like we have another guest here, Mr. Mission.
Hopefully my browser won't crash.
Yeah,
Hey.
how you doing?
It's Walmart security bot with your Walmart security update.
What's
Can
that?
you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
you're
hear
a
me?
little. Yeah, you're a little crackly though. Are
Windy.
you moving around? Could be
Yeah,
windy.
outside.
Windy out here. I'm outside. It's windy. So now can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you think? What are your thoughts? Oh, looks like we lost.
It's gone again.
Okay. Yeah,
He's
he'll come
gone
back.
again. Yeah.
Internet.
Got to get closer to his router.
Yeah. We had wind here yesterday. Oh my word. It was like the tail end of that hurricane coming off the west of Mexico. Wind.
Yeah, it got real hot today. They decided that we needed a heat wave, so it went from around 20 degrees to 35 degrees
Okay.
overnight.
So I have to do American math. So that's like 35.
Yeah,
95.
95. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, from around 70 to 95.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you're hotter than me. We're in the mid upper 80s here today.
Yeah, we got that.
Nice and cold down here.
You're
Cloudy,
cold?
17. I'm 17 degrees. Yeah, I'm a little cold. Like, I don't know. Because we had a few hot days.
Yeah,
but
some people have problems with
what is
restream.
that? That would be in like the late 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Ooh.
To me, that's cold now.
Yeah. Well, for summer it is, but it's actually pleasant. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It's kind of perfect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too warm. Oh, I'm not looking forward to the heat, but
I do like the heat, but I wasn't prepared for it. It just came like suddenly, so I had to put the air conditioners in today.
I don't have air conditioners, so when it gets hot, it's hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like the heat. So
I got two of them. I got one running now. I don't have the other one running. So
yeah, especially when you're live streaming, it gets quite hot in here with all the equipment on and stuff. Lights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, it's not pleasant. But what do you do?
Yeah. The Pacific Northwest is not prone to have air conditioning in their homes because they hardly ever need it. You know, it's just not a necessity. Yeah.
No, that's the thing. And my
But
place
once in a
actually is
while.
pretty cool. It stays nice and cool here.
Yeah. Yeah. They do.
I'm actually
Yeah.
pretty lucky. I'm pretty blessed.
95. Wow.
I can get away with that. But yeah. No, I feel like it though, Scotty, sometimes.
Yeah, Scotty's got a good place to live. He's right by the water there.
Oh, nice.
So
Huh. Oh, somebody's mentioning the Deagle numbers. Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know. So when you see things like what just happened here, it makes you wonder, is this how it's going to go down? You know, is Iran maybe going to retaliate? I mean, it does kind of make them look weak if they don't. You know, that just means, roll over. Anybody can come and, you know, do whatever they want with them.
Well, the bigger concern for me is the proxy armies that may be jumping in on the theater too. You know, the big guys like China.
There's also the greater plans of Greater Israel, which includes a part of these countries.
I think Jordan's just going to roll over. I really do. I think he'll just roll over because that's the next one over, you know. I forget, what is that lake or whatever it's called? Anyway, it's all famous, but I can't remember it. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Land grab.
There it is. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
there we are. There we go.
Greater Israel, yeah.
They
There
got
you
a.
go.
Looks like they just got a little piece of Iran there,
Mm-hmm.
but they need a good buffer zone of a few thousand miles, because that's going to be. So you really think about it, they're actually just kind of taking the war from here, this little strip of land, right to where they want to be, right on the border of Iran. So if they could go into Iraq or Georgia, and use that as their launching post to Iran, I don't know if that's possible. Is Iraq still under American control?
Yeah. That's a I don't think they're going to go into another war with the
Didn't
whole
we just
thing.
abandon these places and left all our
Pretty much.
equipment and everything?
Oh, of course. That is our trademark here.
Just left it all there, for them to now use it against us, right? Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's wonderful.
But yeah, because we already know that, Lebanon, Syria, they're just a chaotic mess, and that's an easy takeover, I think. And I think that's why Iran is possibly acting now, because they see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, they don't want to become another Palestine, do they?
No. And they're buffering them. These countries in between are the buffers, and they want that.
Yeah.
That's their strategy, probably. But I think, the other big countries could jump in on this. I'm just wondering if anybody's going to use the big kabooma, the ones they always talk about, but we never see.
Well, see, that's what this is stopping, apparently.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that true?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it seems like another big lie.
Because there's a lot of questions around whether the big kaboom is real, right?
Correct.
Hi, Michael. Good to see you. Is the big kaboom even real?
Yeah. They never use it. It's like the man behind the red curtain.
Yeah. We just, we heard about it from before,
I was raised on it. Get on under your desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that
duck and
generation.
cover, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, Mr. Mission.
Okay. I had to open my Microsoft browser. Hopefully it don't crash. Oh, it crashed again. What are you crash for?
No, you're still here. Oh, no, you're not. I don't think any other countries. Well, see, some people have been saying the opposite, that Russia is interested in this, and I'm not sure. Right?
They're a part of the BRICS.
Yeah, I could see Russia feeding them arms or, intel. Why not? They've got, I don't know if they need it, because they probably have their own systems. They were smart enough to shut down the internet so that they weren't being targeted by their own systems, easily hackable, which makes them easily hackable. So, and trackable. So, but wow. Let's see what else they have to say here.
Yeah.
All you look at, you read every book, everything on there. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so we literally couldn't be any more involved in the thing than we are right now. For anybody who's saying like, oh, well, the U.S. got involved, we not get involved. We're 100% involved right now. And to do what they wanted to do, we needed U.S. involvement because, I don't know how much you guys know about these B-52 bombers, these planes specifically, but they're insane. So these things cost like $2 billion to build them. They're the most expensive plane in the world, and they're the only ones that could carry these bunker buster bombs. So these things weigh like 30,000 pounds, and these are the only planes in the world that could carry them. So there's only 30 of these bombs that exist in the world, and then there's only 20 of these planes that exist in the world. So today it started leaking out that these planes were moving from Missouri, from an Air Force base in Missouri, to Guam. And then in that span of time, they went from Guam to Iran. Three to six of those planes dropped about 2 bombs on each of these nuclear bases in Iran. So you needed 2 of them because these bombs only penetrated 60 meters down into the ground, and the average nuclear site was like 80 to 90 meters in the ground. So it was unclear if they were going to be able to do it, but it seems like they hit.
Okay.
Upload your videos to Upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube.
Hit it.
Brandon,
first.
well, this is the question. This is the
Yeah,
question, because we
yeah.
talked about this, me and you.
Right.
Did they fully penetrate all the way down
Hi, Tony.
90 meters that they needed to do, or did they just penetrate 60
Well,
meters?
that's what we're wondering,
Do we
Tony.
have that report yet? Have that been released to us that we know about this?
No, that I don't see that being confirmed anywhere. Trump said successful mission, but I don't see it being reported anywhere that it's definitely a success, that they definitely took it out. But it's believed that they hit each of them twice, and that's why there are 3 to 6 planes in it, because each plane could carry up to 2 of these bombs. And then, so if there were 3 to 6 planes, 3 sites hit, then 2 bombs could have hit each site. So 2 bombs would be enough. 1 bomb probably not.
You still with us there, Max?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I don't know what happened. The video stopped, and oh, there he is.
Oh, sorry. I was saying to Tony, I was talking to Tony and forgot I was muted. Thank you. Tony, yeah, as far as we know so far, there were 4 strikes, supposedly confirmed by satellite. I don't have any confirmation of that myself, but I'll trust that. Whether they busted the bunkers, I don't know. We haven't received any real confirmation of that from the Iranians or anything. I've heard ranges of descriptions of this that, they're decimated to it barely scratched the surface. So it's hard to tell what's really going on until they tell us, and we have to understand that most of that's probably going to be lies anyways, partly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so far we do know they did do strikes. It was the U.S. Russia's not in it yet, but there is a possibility of that happening. Now, the States is not going to call this war. They're not calling it war. I saw Trump, in the analysis on that this is a military action. It's not a war. So Trump has every right to do it, apparently. Yeah, I heard there were no casualties, though, as well, which is a good thing. The price of fuel will go up. They're hoping not, but we'll see what happens. Apparently, that was the reason for doing it on the weekend instead of during the week.
I don't know. What?
I don't know how that affects it, really.
Yeah.
Either the fuel is going to flow or it's not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how that makes a difference. Check mine tracker.
I did notice that A, he did it on the Sabbath, and B, he did it on Saturn's Day. So,
Was it on the solstice? Was that the solstice?
and it's
day?
also the solstice. That's right,
Yeah.
summer solstice
Yeah.
as well. Yes.
Yeah, came in strong in the year of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
all
they like
lined
doing
up.
things.
We'll have to get the numerologists and astrologers on that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure
I'm gonna
they're
have
on
to
it.
look at that.
Yeah. Well, they did warn about, I know Joni anyways was all about the 20th, which would have been the Friday, which would have been the day they were really conspiring this.
Yeah, planning,
So
getting ready
she
for it.
warned us about that. So I kind of
That's
was
pretty
expecting
close.
something. Yeah. And also July 4th. That's another one there's a lot of buzz about that weekend.
There
So
is.
So that's coming up, and so expect some hoopla down in the States, and it's right on your Independence Day. It's a Friday. They always like to do it on a Friday. And yeah, expect it could be some boom booms coming onto the soil. Because they're talking about, an event that's bigger than 9/11, while indicating that it's going to be on American soil and it's going to be a bit bigger. So I can see like 304 them coming down into the bigger cities. That would, sort of the whole Deagle report again, with casualties and a lot of things in this. So expect something.
Yeah, because I'm seeing here Uranus enters Gemini in July 7th. So it'll be going direct into Gemini. This is, by the way, the tropical map. Let's see here. Mercury. Yeah, another one. Oh, Venus also enters Gemini July 4th. Ooh-wee.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
9
saying.
days
Yeah,
away.
so,
It's like a week away.
Yeah.
Week and a
I
half.
well, not next weekend, I guess. We got the 28th, but the weekend after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 2 weeks. And that's about, good amount of time for Iran to figure out, what should they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just sit back and take it,
No.
or maybe they ally up. Maybe you said that. Maybe Russia will get involved. Maybe
Somebody.
they
North
deserve
Korea.
it.
I mean, pick a country.
Yeah, I
Somebody.
know, right? Yeah, or even China. I don't know about China, but yeah, who knows?
Maybe covertly. I
There's a
mean,
lot of people that wouldn't mind cahooting against the U.S. Let's put it that way. So, they still don't have the guts to do it themselves, but there's a whole bunch of them like, hey, yeah, again, let's do it.
Yeah, it could be, kaboomas. I think that's, possible. But I also hope they're not planning something, in that ugly buggly stuff that we went through a few years ago for realsies.
Yeah, we'll all have to get anthrax
that's another one,
inoculations.
Yeah, pestilence, right? It's in the Bible, right? They'll do that. They'll use that against us. For sure. So that's probably going to be part of it.
Yeah.
I would say,
So the summer solstice was on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 20th.
Okay.
Yeah. In the evening, late. So that was, the time when they were conspiring to all this stuff, and
And they love to use the sky clock on all of their agendas. So I watched too. Venus going into Gemini, July 4th.
Close down a few tabs here. Okay, leave that one. Al Khomeini.
Thank you, Scotty boy. He's being Scotty.
What's he Scottying about?
Oh, using Uranus in a sentence.
Oh, okay.
Only Scotty would do.
Uranus. We'll see it that way instead. That sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah, Cliff High too has been warning about around the July 4th, so the end of this month and beginning of the next month kind of thing, the energy there, or however he measures it. But yeah.
Well, what's been set into play is it's going to take a while now to settle again.
Or maybe, considering it is July 4th, right? If you remember back to the movie Independence Day, maybe that's the day that the fake alien invasion happens. And that could be definitely a lot bigger than 9/11. And that could be pretty much kind of like that movie there. A few places get, boom, boom, but, not that big of a deal, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, Canada, your holiday, to celebrate your country is what day?
The 1st.
Yeah.
The 1st. That's right. Okay. I knew I was going, is it a day to before or after? I couldn't remember.
It's before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that whole bracket, think about it.
Yeah.
Of time.
Yeah, that's the time frame. Yeah, so both in astrology and Cliff High has been talking about that. So
yeah,
and he was right on with the thing that happened to Trump back last July. Was that last July or the July before?
Last July when you got shot.
Yeah, man, it feels like a lifetime now.
I know, man.
Yeah.
So much happens. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's polycrisis time, right? It's just one thing after another, and it's
that's what we were promised.
It's like 3 movies.
Oh yes. So we're expecting the alien invasion. I wouldn't be surprised. That could be perfect. Then all of a sudden, we're all banding together now. See, that would bring peace upon the planet in a way.
See, I feel their next step is full on, totally out in the open AI. They're just going to move a lot of jobs and surveillance to AI.
Yes.
Well, for your protection, you know,
Yeah.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
Of
And
course.
so that's part of
for
it.
your
So you have
security,
to
for
have
your
that.
protection. We're
We're
gonna.
Yeah.
in
So you have to have all of
1984.
these things come in, and that will be the pestilence. There'll be the war, and a lot of different, all of it. So that will be like, yes, we have to give up our freedoms and give over to the real ID and all the
Yeah.
AI
Oh, we
things.
did. We had to. It was mandatory
Yeah.
last May here.
Yeah. So there you go.
Mhm.
So there's going to be more of that. There's going to be more of that. So
So,
expect lockdowns, I would say, as well. A
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
different,
yeah. Mhm.
all those reasons, it will be for
Mm.
lockdowns as well, which will be for our own best interest.
Right. Roads, checkpoints.
Yeah,
Oh,
there'll
yeah.
all be martial law and all of that, and yeah, which might even be using AI for that too. And when the lockdown is, that's of course when they're going to implement all the cameras, they're going to put up all the things. So by the time we come back out, it's already all there. It's all in place now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
I suspected this for a while. I used to travel and internationally, and when you come in, show them your passport and get your little stamp to go through, they will always converse with you and ask you, how's your stay, how long just anything to get you to say a sentence or two. And I've always thought they're doing this because they already have voice recognition. The minute you start speaking, that's like a thumbprint, man. And yeah. So anyway, AI.
Oh
That's
yeah! Did you guys, Max? Because you're Canadian here. Actually, Robert sent me this video of a speech or thingy from our prime minister saying that all cars from 2000 and older are going to be banned, and also all tinting, even the back windows and stuff, was going to be outlawed by June 1st. I'm like, what? And it
Yeah.
looks so real. It looks so real. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, it's a deep fake, whatever it
Yeah.
is. It's like, holy smoke! Like he fell for it.
well, good luck
You
with
know?
that one. How many people have tinted window? I mean,
Yeah.
that's like,
I started panicking for a second time. Like, oh my shit! Oh,
Well, he
you know,
does have his
right?
climate initiative of
Right.
2030 or something
Hmm.
for certain cars or something, but I don't
Yeah,
know if
but
that's
not what he said there. And how many people believe that now? And it just
Yeah.
goes to show that
they're running down.
can't-
They're
you
wandering
cannot
down to the
trust
auto
any-
detail shop and getting it changed. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? We all would have to do it like overnight. That would be a nightmare, right?
Sure.
And so yeah, it just goes to show you cannot trust any of. And it looks so real.
You
Yeah.
can't.
It's
Well, we've got these
unbelievable.
ads where you're going to make a lot of money. It's the Prime Minister of Canada telling you that the Canadian government is setting up Bitcoin for you, and you're going to make a whole buttload of money.
Yeah.
And it's
gonna
all
look so
AI.
real. Yeah,
There's
and they're gonna
various
fall
different people. They did one before with Elon Musk. Going to make you lots of money, special for only Canadians, whatever. I'm going to make Canadians millionaires by investing for them in Bitcoin. Just give me your money and give me your investment money, and I'll make it happen. But they've been using every type of character you can imagine, every techie character and official character. I don't know why these things are allowed to be on there. They're using somebody's image, either without their knowledge, which you shouldn't be allowed to do.
Yeah.
It's already banned, really,
Yeah.
because it's slander. That's under the slander laws. Your
Oh,
false
yeah. It's
representation.
defamation of character.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
No,
we don't
you
need any
do
new
that.
laws.
Libel.
Yeah.
I was just saying with Loretta with Palantir. Yeah, it's a Palantirany coming to us because that's going to be the answer to just what Max Vision was saying. It's going to be AI scrutinizing all of these videos, and it has discretion what we will see.
Yeah, they're already doing that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bots are already watching everything and listening. If you got anything smart device, that's all listening to you. And we're on different lists. Who they're gonna come knocking on doors. Down the road. Everything will be used against you. So all your Facebook groups and all the stuff that we were doing all these years.
Yeah.
It's
You're always surveilled. It's just to what level.
Yeah.
You can't get out of the system at all. Putting down your phone doesn't stop them from watching you.
No.
Just stops some of the details.
Right.
Yeah.
No, seriously. And if you're talking to yourself,
Hmm.
it's okay because you're
Yeah, they
not
can
really
hear.
talking to yourself anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I talk to them.
Well, if the phone starts answering, I'll freak out. I don't touch the chat GPT thing at all. Like I want nothing to do with that stuff. A friend of mine was talking with me about what he was doing with it, and it's like, holy shit, this thing is creepy.
It's pretty amazing technology.
It
But,
is, but I'm staying away from it. I don't trust it at all.
well, why did they let us have it at all?
Well, so it's basically you're letting us hang with it, because
Yeah,
we'll
because,
use it to our own detriment. You know what I
well,
mean? This
yeah,
thing is going
it
to know
wants to
you
learn
better
from
than you
us.
know yourself.
Yeah, it
You
has
know?
to learn from us. And they've
Yeah.
even bragged that with the release of AI, they've gathered so much data, you know. So that's what it's used for. That's why they gave it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Not No wrote, Ellen uses a filter sometimes. She made a video about it. I believe that because I keep looking at her going, how does this woman who is a year older than me look so young?
Oh, filters are wonderful.
Oh man, they really
No,
did her up on her show. She looked like she was 30. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever do the Snapchat filter?
No, I don't.
Oh, you got to get on Snapchat.
Oh, you got to
It's
try
so
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I've seen.
better.
Oh,
There's
it's
lots
so
of
fun.
there's
Yeah.
lots of videos with it too of people. You can make yourself look like whatever, like a puppy
Yeah, you
dog
make it
or
funny
a
and all this kind of
clown or
stuff,
yeah,
or
and
beauty. You can put on
it'll
a beauty
morph into your
filter.
face, blend
Yeah.
in perfectly.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's great. And then you
Yeah.
can save it onto your phone and then send that somewhere else. You don't have to be on Snapchat, but I use that all the time. Oh shit,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not filming the way I actually look. Are you kidding me? No. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, here I am. I just go all natural.
Yeah,
There's
I never thought to do that.
No. Matter of fact, you can do a little video, not wear any makeup at all, but the filter will make it look like you're wearing all kinds of
Sure.
makeup.
Yeah, no, I've
Right
seen a
on.
few people's
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
You don't
No,
even
it's
have to doll
amazing.
yourself up. Yeah.
Oh, let me see if I have this. I have to show you guys, speaking of, because it's on topic today. Hold on. If I can share. Hold on, let me see here. Oh, here it is. Speaking of how you can change your looks and what's going on here. Yeah.
Oh, what's
This
up
was
with the neck of that guy?
Yeah,
It
this
does
was,
look-
BB
Oh, wow.
at a news conference, and somebody's going, something is really off with his neck.
So he's probably just wearing a mask or something.
Correct.
It's not-
Yes.
Yeah.
After that Trump's, admittance about Biden, it makes me wonder, like, who actually is real? And that's kind of funny because that's Israel, Israel. You know what I mean? That we see there. I'm starting to think that all of them are clones or masks or something.
They've
And
had
the
that
real
since
ones
the
probably
80s,
all
right?
underground already. They're already out of here.
They've had that since the 80s, so the technology's probably only gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those masks. Yeah, you can even
Yeah.
buy them yourself now, like online, and they look so real. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And
these-
people are
yeah.
wearing them to crimes now, like that recent one in Wisconsin.
Oh,
The guy, he shot the two legislators. Oh, Minnesota. Minnesota.
right. What
Let's get
happened
those.
there?
Oh, you mean like the peel off silicone mask? They've got better than that now. They've got holographic material
Yeah.
that you can just
Right.
put on basically a hood and stuff it into your collar, and
Yeah,
it does it all
looks
for
so
you.
real.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they have now. You can't trust anything. That's what I'm saying.
I was showing those types of things on my channel, but then they won't let me look at them anymore.
Oh, is that right? So see, that's when you're onto something. You see, right?
So,
When they have a problem with it.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes me wonder. I want to dig deeper on that. Then
Type in metamaterials into your computer and search out the website for. There's one main website that should come up.
Meta
materials. Yeah. Interesting. They're doing that to you. I was going to say, yeah, my car's a 66 Ford. Yeah, no, seriously, anyone who owns a vehicle, I believe it's after 2009, there is a shut off system in your vehicles. They can turn you off anytime they want after 2009. Pretty much.
Glad to hear that, None.
Isn't that fun? What if they stopped your vehicle at the
isn't
wrong
that
time?
interesting? So what comes up is metal is a material. It won't meta material. There's nothing for that.
Wow.
Just metal. Yeah.
Try metamaterials for sale.
Metal supply. Just metal supplies around here.
It won't let you
Metal
type in
depot.
META.
TA,
It
yeah,
always,
meta.
yeah, it
Meta.
always goes to metal, eh?
Always goes to metal. There's no meta material.
Wow. Yeah, there's a company you can buy them from called Metamaterials.
Doesn't show
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
they
They don't want us to know about that.
Yeah, they don't let me look at it anymore. So
Okay, there you go. So they've taken it down then. So when you search for it, you're not going to find it.
I can find it. I just can't look at it. Let me
Huh.
show it. Let me see if I can find it here.
That's interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah, here it is. Metamaterials Inc. Let's see if they'll let me in. Oh, does not exist. Oh no. What
well, see,
happened?
that's what I'm saying. They've taken it down.
Oh no.
I know.
Okay. So anyways, in some of my previous videos, I do highlight the metamaterials that they show us. Oh yeah, here. This is it. Sorry. So yeah, it does exist here. So there it is. Metamaterials Inc. Functional materials, nanocomposites, nanotechnology.
Oh, maybe I should have put metamaterial ink.
And then when I go to it,
Still, now I'm getting metal,
yeah, see.
metallic crayons and shit.
Yeah.
Black metal scratch off ink. What the
So
fuck? London drugs. Metamaterial. Okay, here we go. There it is.
For the artist in you.
Meta. Oh, sorry. This video does not exist. It says Meta go beyond.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are blocked up there. I'm.
Oh no!
See
Here we go.
if you
I don't
can
know what I
find it.
clicked on, but here you go. I got all kinds
Okay.
of.
It's Meta.
Metamaterials Inc.
Okay,
Just
hold
like
on.
it sounds.
.com news, yeah. So I got the latest news, products. What are you looking for? Holo optics.
We'll go for products. Yeah.
Holographic optical components.
There you go.
Competitive price holographic optical components. Wow.
So go into that. You want to share that?
Yeah, I'm just scrolling down the page. You want me to share this so that
Sure.
you can see it?
Yeah, let people take a look.
Okay, let's see. So I just click on the plus sign, I guess, eh? Screen share.
The little computer-looking thing next to it. Oh, I was going to say, yeah, you know what they should. Okay, I could go into their LinkedIn page, sort of, but I don't want to sign in to do that. But if I click their main Meta Inks, it tells me, yeah, page is not found, file is not found. So it may not just be you. I was premature. I apologize. But yeah, there's something going on there.
Oh, you're off. Okay, sorry. Okay, so yeah, so this is this the same though? Meta Go Beyond?
Looks kind of like it.
Got all kinds of weird stuff here.
Yeah, holographic graphic film.
Launch filters, whatever that is. Something through the glass, and then you got hollow optic flex. That looks interesting.
It's holographic film. Yeah, you can project whatever you want on it.
Hollow optic strata. So is this for photography or?
Well, no, you can hide things. You can change the look of things. You can
I see.
Holographic.
put those materials on top of things and change what they look like.
Sure.
So you could say make a little suit of it and look like whatever you want.
Technology. Here's all the different technology. You even got the wireless sensing.
Oh, in the future, you're going to walk into a store and they're going to put you in a LiDAR booth, and it's going to measure your whole body, and your clothing will be created from that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Computerized clothing.
Well,
Yeah,
this
because they've got a
is
map of you.
so wireless sensing, non-invasive glucose sensing,
Yeah.
radio wave imaging, MRI amplifier. So it's like a medical techno. Oh, what's this now? What's this now?
Oh, it's
See,
got the
we
word
always
health in
knew
it.
that there was going to be something in our hand, right?
Well, they're
That
going
they're
to
gonna
deliver immense benefits to both patients and, okay,
For your benefit.
yeah.
yes. Yeah. Well, of course they're gonna have. So you're gonna have this little chip, I guess, eh? Right? With
Sure.
all of this,
Because it's
right?
going to sense your glucose. Sure.
Now, they had plasma on the page before. I was wondering what that was.
Ooh, radio wave imaging.
Now let's
Wow.
go back up again. Technology. They had so all
Plasma
of this.
fusion. What's that?
Holograms. Ooh.
High-speed coding. Any solids? Any? Oh, this video does not exist. See, so some of the stuff
Yes.
is taken down.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
saw. Yeah, I was trying to get into, I guess, just one of the
Yeah,
stories
that's
in
what
it.
happened too. But it's just that video. Well, the rest of the stuff is here. So if you want to read it, I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, I'll search it again.
Screen,
Yeah, I'll search it more again and try to
it's
find
the
it.
metamaterial all-in-one-word.com, and then you'll go into that.
So the
So-
metallization step is in its role to roll a production process for nanoweb films, as well as color optics security films. This is expected to significantly accelerate the speed and increase annual capacity. Large scale and efficient metallization is a crucial step for volume production of nanoweb, registered trademark, and many other high volume potential applications such as lithium ion battery components, large scale, continuing to large scale metallization, and expected to leverage capital equipment investments and subsidiary man, no idea what they're talking about after a while. Reduce the cost per square meter of output. Okay, so efficiency. And scale up plasma fusion. Okay. Anyways.
You want me to scroll or?
Yeah, scroll around.
Platform technology. That looks interesting. Some kind of film. Is this still the?
Well, this is like spray-on films, I guess, where they're getting metals onto surfaces.
Here's a 10-second demonstration.
Which you know can be computers, could be chipsets. You know, you can do anything with that.
Here's a plasma fusion 10-second demonstration. Let's check that out.
Turning to metal. Yeah.
Golf ball into metal? Wow.
Coating it with
Turning
metal.
a golf ball into metal.
Yeah, coating it anyway.
Huh. That's interesting. Two source plasma fusion. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was the metamaterials, like the holographic stuff I was showing people, you know, how they can just make a film and project instantly a holograph on it, how easy it would be to convert that. You know, this is probably an outlier of the technology of the hoods that they had.
3D printing going holographic printing.
Yeah, I guess that would be the next, yeah?
Yeah, pretty fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Was there something else you wanted to see, or
No, that was it.
Wow, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Wanted to take a look at this video here somebody sent us. It's a 5-minute video on
A rest bed while I get through some medical care, and I wanted to touch bases
looks
and
AI.
just talk to you really quickly about what's happening with Iran
Yeah.
and the news that you're seeing with these terrorists with the T cells that are getting ready to get unleashed. And I want to remind you, for those that have been following me, that I mentioned that this would happen last year when I let you know about the spider people and the things that they were doing in the astral, and that they were planning this. So for those that have followed me, you've had a little bit of forewarning to prepare for this unfoldment. As many of you guys know, I foresaw the war with Iran in 2011. I've made videos about it that are on my YouTube channel. You're welcome to go back and watch. For those of you that have been following me, you heard me talk about this many times, so it's not new to you. But I did want to come on and just let you know that these events are going to they are going to stir the pot a little bit, if you will, for humanity. And they are, of course, propagated. So the whole thing has been organized in a way behind the scenes that is different than what you're going to be told in the news in the next few weeks and months. Cool. There are going to be some kind of takeover situation, if you will. And although it may seem like a good thing for a lot of people, especially in the American world, it's not what you're being told. And it's really tragic sometimes to see humans cheering on things that they think are good when in turn it really is not. It's not what you're being told. And so I do want to let you know that remember the light winds. Remember that these events were already worked out through the cosmic realms. This has already been worked through in the higher world. And the events that are going to unfold here on Earth in the next few weeks and months are going to stir the pot for you a little bit. And I want you to be prepared. And I want you to remember the light winds. And I want you to remember that what's happening on Earth is a small piece of a bigger picture. And also that you're eternal, and so are all souls. And so a lot of the things that are being stirred up for humanity right now have to do with global power and global control.
I agree
from
with
some
that.
very dark groups. And it's very, very important that humanity gets to the point where they stop falling for these political psyops, because they're not serving humanity, not a single bit. And so again, remember, we talked about this happening. I predicted that this was going to happen last year.
Yeah, right.
And that these terror cells were getting ready to be unleashed on humanity. And now it's the timeline that is occurring, and it's going to start to occur more. And you're going to see a lot of events unfolding in the United States and in other countries that are going to be very difficult to see. And at the same time, you're going to be blindfolded from a lot of it, so you're not even going to be able to see a lot of what's really happening. And so please remember that you need to use your discernment. You need to use your intuition when you're going to go somewhere right now. It's really important that you do that, because they're going to be creating a lot of events to cause terror. This is a part of a very dark plan that's been going on in the astral realms that's unfolding on the earth now. And so do be careful of where you're going. Pay attention. Don't keep fear in your heart. Keep love in your heart, but also be wise and understand that there's going to be some things going on now that create more chaos and more confusion. And it's really important, too, that you start to ask yourself what's really going on behind the scenes, because, again, you're not really being told the whole story. And I'm sorry that I haven't been on very often lately. I've been very distracted with a few of personal things. I'm also still dealing with some of my own health issues, and I'm going through a big move. And so I have my own personal stuff that's going on too, but I want to get out and get as many videos to you as I can later. Until then, I'll try to do what I can. So I wanted to be able to get in touch with you now and just remind you that this was something we forewarned you about last year, and this is something that is definitely going to start to go on in the United States. And it's not going to be like things that you've seen before. It's going to be different a little bit this time. So I want you to be prepared for that. And don't be afraid. Just use discernment. Don't go to big busy places unless you really feel that you're called to go there. Check with your intuition before you decide to go to a concert or something like that. And know that a lot of what's going to unfold now is basically part of a big play on Earth. And it's a production in a sense. And so, anyways, this is what they've been planning, and it's getting ready to unfold. I'll be coming on soon to try to do some more videos for you after I get through a couple of things in the next week or two. But for now, I wanted to get this out to you because you're definitely going to be seeing this in the news. And the United States is now getting involved in the war with Iran, which I did predict in 2011. And and the terror cells that I talked about last year are getting ready to kind of start hatching, if you will. So anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and remember to keep the peace in your heart and stay out of busy areas unless you absolutely have to be there. Okay? Namaste.
Well, the fear is high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
One
like Scotty Boy said, we train for this.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I wanted to point out that may be unusual for a lot of people is if we do go into full-on WW3 here, not only will gas prices and such will go up with real trade wars, will also be put on ration. So the gas might be high, but you can only get 10 gallons a week or a month or whatever. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, Canada should be okay. I mean, considering we have our own oil, but
yeah,
just need to
no,
not
yeah,
refine-
we just don't
Yeah.
refine it. We've got lots of natural gas that'll keep us
Yeah.
going for a while too.
We'll just have to get that going again, you know. But I just want to answer. There's somebody mentioned about the M-Spiracy channel there. I think that one is AI.
Okay, looked like it was a filter. Yeah.
But that lady there, she probably was just using a filter, you know, because she says she wasn't, you know, feeling good and stuff. So, and when you do use a filter, you do kind of get basically an AI overlay.
Yeah, kind of
animated.
I was noticing the lips are a little off.
Yeah, so it's
the
a little
eyes.
off. I
Yeah.
know. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Now this M-Spire thing, I don't know. I think it's kind of weird because she just came on the scene all of a sudden, blowing up big. And
Yeah.
just
The
seems
information
a little,
wasn't that startling though.
No, very basic.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's like reading your horoscope, you know, saying your sign for the month of June, you should do a lot of gardening. And if you get upset with your spouse, you know, that's so basic.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Kind of stuff.
It might be good for disclosure, sort of for the normies who are waking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get the information quick. Because we're all in the TikTok thing now. You know, nobody wants to sit and watch an hour video about stuff. But if they can get a quick format like that and, you know, it looks good on their phone or whatever, they might actually watch it. You know, which it seems like they are because everybody's talking about it now. So, yeah, you know. And that's
have you guys heard of the false flag possibility of one of the aircraft carriers that they're going to decommission? Next year it was set for decommission, but I think they're right now they're just like running it back and forth in front of Iran, just to see if they could taunt them into
Shooting
maybe
it
hitting
down.
it. Yeah.
So do you think it's drone driven?
Could be. I don't see why they wouldn't leave people on there to die anyway.
Right. Why? Yeah, and yeah, they wouldn't do that to a real good pilot.
Got
So
to kill some people, so
yeah, it's bait.
For the greater good, gotta take one for the team. It's not that hard to convince people.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
false flags, it's usually the situation is proxied or created, but the death's usually real.
Or
Yes,
they don't
there
even
you
know
go.
that,
Yeah.
that's the end game. They might not even know that part of it.
Yeah, they do. They cut collateral damage.
Yeah, I hope they watch videos and when
They probably don't.
I
There's
don't
certain
know.
typed up people that gets picked for these kind of things.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, I hope those Navy officers and Navymen have discernment, to know that they're being used.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it doesn't take you long.
They're-
If your mission
they're
is
not, they're not allowed to use their brain. They're only yes sir, how high,
well, that's
sir.
true.
That's it.
Yeah, they're doing
it's
a
not
patrol,
yours to question why. It's just yours to do or
That's
die.
right. You don't
right? So
question
they're just set to do a patrol on the coast, I guess.
Yeah.
And they'll probably just go back and forth and back and
Till
forth.
they get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll scream bloody murder.
Yep.
And then if
go
they
for
do get shot
Tonkin.
down,
Well,
Yeah,
we've got to
then America
subdue
has-
the existing government and all of that.
Yeah.
I'll give them the go ahead to destroy the rest of it then.
Ooh, this is interesting. So, okay, if they do overthrow somehow, disband whatever Iran, who's going to go in there and moderate this?
You
They
mean like,
will.
yeah.
Just like they have before, they go in there. Oh, I'm sorry, there was no weapons of mass
Yeah, this
destruction. Hey,
leader's-
there's a shirt, got a lot of gold. We'll take that.
Yep.
Yeah.
This
Well,
leader's no
well-
good for you. We got to give you a new one.
Right.
Oh,
And they don't forget
make
they
sure
hit the museums too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Make sure you vote for the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hit
Yeah,
the museums. They hit the reserves. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've got their number and they just keep doing it like, oh, they don't pay attention.
Well, that's just it. We keep letting them do it.
Well, because individually we're a little stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're stuck in a way. We can't go up against a regime. I mean, like that lone guy in China in front of the tank.
Yeah.
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 But had everybody stood in front of that tank wouldn't be able to move.
See, that's just it. Everything counts in large amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We need to wake up the masses, and everybody needs to start. You know what? We need to do something. You know what?
Something.
And stop paying taxes and stop voting. That's a start right there. If we all just ignore these fuckers, then they have no power.
No, it's true. They all need to go to prison, and until then, it's just going to continue on.
Yeah. We'll have to fill up the prisons with ourselves too, because that's what they'll do next. You don't pay your taxes.
Oh yeah.
Although there is no tax prison in Canada. They just garnish your wages and stuff.
Shit.
Yeah.
Without our tax money, they have no job. There's no pay for them, so they're not going to give a shit after a while when there's no money, coming in. So it will just collapse. That's the thing, we gotta stop insanity.
They'll make where was that?
Well,
Obama.
America is going on 250 years, I guess, next year. And that's
Yeah.
about right. The fall of a civilization around 250 years is about as long as they go.
So that's another one, right? To see what's happening here.
Yeah.
So
I'm mixed on, what I would like to see happen. And so.
yeah, America was an experiment anyways.
It was. It was a nice one, but it's over.
Yeah, well, the Hollywood, right? So they made up the whole Hollywood thing, and that's how they got, get that little television box into every single house. And
isn't it interesting how they had such a precise pinch on the psychology of humans? I mean, they just got the minute they got a little technology. Oh, we can mass, hypnosis them here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, big time. Oh,
Boy, they learned quickly.
and it's all for greed and money and all that stuff, right? So yeah, no, it's if it wasn't for America, we wouldn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, you saw how well it works, right? 60% of people were in favor of what the U.S. did.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Well, it doesn't matter what Trump does. He's the golden boy. He's the savior. God's chosen one. So and when you say, and if he's the chosen one of the God, well, we know what this God's all about. So Lord
That's what
help
I'm
us
saying.
all. Right?
Something's been amiss for many decades here when it comes
Yeah.
to that. Something's really wrong.
A lot of people are getting upset with Trump too because he's not following through on his promises.
You go. I told you so.
So
But no, they're gonna go and vote for him anyways. Not that he had any choice, though. That's the problem, right? And that's
Was that or Kamala? Really?
They set it up that way, so you have no
Of course.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's
A
it's
babbling idiot, or
That's why I've said
hyena. I know, right?
This goes back.
That's where it goes back to what I just said.
Woodrow Wilson, 1910, in the United States, we were taken over by mobs.
Yeah.
They just changed their names, made it sound, prime ministry. But that's all that happened. We're still, and we are. The Revolutionary War was a compromise, and we were still having ties to this day to the king. Just saying. So, we do. It's just, it's unbelievable. And then the Second World War, we integrated Germany. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And look, here we are.
Well, if we're gonna go with the whole television thing, we went from Leave It to Beaver.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on today? And how
to Breaking Bad.
My God. Yeah, can you talk about manipulation and how we were like completely just sort of steered that way? All fell for it.
And I like action, but there is way too much violence in these shows.
They like violence.
I know, but it's just, it's weird. Just paying attention.
The problem is that it doesn't matter who wins because the ones at the top win. They own it all. They're part of all of it. That's the problem.
They fund both sides of everything.
Yeah. For hundreds of years, those bigger mobs. They've been running it since, I don't know, pick a time, somewhere Napoleon, somewhere before that, but around that era.
It's about 3,000 years old, is it not? We're going back to the Jews now.
Oh yeah, we really could go probably, but I'm just being, conservative.
Yeah. Well, they got a long game. That's the problem. They have the patience for the long game, and we don't.
Right. And they breed their families, and they bring them into the business.
Yeah.
Yes.
One way or another, they're your actors, they're your politicians, they're your whomevers. They need
America
them to be.
was a perfect place because it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
They had a fresh start here.
With open arms.
The Cologne family owns it.
Saw it coming. Yeah.
The Cologne family owns it. They live, I think, in
Jimmy Seville. Oh my God.
Around Venice. At least that's where they were for hundreds of years. The Cologne family that owns America.
Yeah, of course, Venice.
It's
got to be them.
The black nobility, of course. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, mobs. That's and lower mobs and newer mobs and
the
wannabe mobs.
Faces they put in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what's been going on.
Yep. Let's give this guy another couple minutes listen here.
Sure.
But I think it's like, Trump's, a lot of people say that Trump modeled the art of the deal after the art of war. And the quote from the art of war says, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." So that's one thing that I do like about Trump when he does warfare. His plans are smooth and fast, and you don't see them coming. So if we're going to be in war, then I'd like it to happen that way rather than a long, drawn-out Iraq type of way.
Yeah, I mean, as you're looking at this here, there is one, Rob, with the lady. This is not the one. It's another one that's from Esfahan that I sent you earlier. I don't know if you have it or not. If you don't have it, it's in our notes. I know this is last minute, so I don't expect you to have it right off the bat. The team was so instrumental of getting some of this stuff to be done. And by the way, there's riots right now going on in New York. Did you see that right there, Rob? I don't know if you've seen that one. And if you can do me a favor and show this, people are taking advantage of this situation. Please verify this before you show it. But to me, if you notice what Trump said in his speech, something you don't hear often for him to say, you could tell as a leader, you know what I felt? You could tell he's grappling with this decision. You could tell, because if you go watch the 2-minute speech he just gave that we reacted to, watch the last 30 seconds. Rob, if you could go back, I don't know if that's out there for us to just watch the last 30 seconds. Look how he finishes the last 30 seconds and what he says. It's not the typical way Trump finishes talks. Look who he thanked. Why did he say that? Go to the last 30 seconds. Go back a little bit more. Go back. Okay, play from right there if you could. Watch this.
Out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight.
Watch his body
Not
language.
even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
Look what he
Tomorrow,
says.
General Kane, Secretary of Defense,
He
Pete
texted 8 a.m.
Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God.
Listen to his voice.
I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our
Go
great
back 5
military.
seconds,
Protect
Rob.
them.
I've never heard his voice crack like that. Listen, everybody listen.
We'll have a
Don't
press
move and just
conference.
listen. Go ahead, Rob.
We'll have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless
Which God?
the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's exactly how a leader needs to react when you make a decision like this. You know why? Let me tell you why. When you make a decision like that, you're grappling with it. You know you don't have 100% support. You know this could potentially break the party that you want. You know this is going to be complicated. You don't know for a fact if this is going to work out or not. Nobody does. This could be a big risk. Vinny, I'm going to come to you in a second. This could be a big risk. However, his voice is cracking. How often does the president ask for God's help at the end? Not often. Why? Because the moment you go to God,
holding responsibility,
is because the only thing you have left is what? Faith at this point. You're sitting there saying, I think we make the right decision, God. I think we did the right thing. We need you from here on.
All right. No.
We've never heard the president talk like this. And that's exactly, whether you're happy with him or not, whether you're part of the camp that wants him to be impeached and on X and all this stuff, whether you're part of the camp that's like, I'm never Trumper because I didn't vote for war. Whoever you are, I don't care whether you can't stand this guy. Your name is Keith Olbermann. I don't care who you are. That's exactly how a president needs to react when they're going through a decision like this. And you know,
I don't
he's
think
having
so.
the talks.
What about
He knows
negotiations?
criticism is coming.
I think
There's a reason why he
negotiating is
only
better.
went 2 or 3 minutes. He doesn't want to take any questions.
But
Can you
Trump
imagine
did
how
that
much sleep they've been getting?
for
I'm
a
willing to bet
week
the last 4
before.
nights. These guys haven't
Yeah.
slept. None of those guys have slept the last 4 nights.
And then he
It's
killed the
been nonstop.
negotiators.
Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Keeping it low. So, Vinny, your thoughts on this? What are you thinking with this?
Well, I mean, yeah, that was a very, very interesting. I've never heard, like, once in a while I've heard Trump bring up God, but that moment, that pause, you know, God bless the Middle East, God bless Israel, and then God bless America. When he tweeted his tweet, he said, "We have completed our successful attack." The moment I saw "we," Pat, I was like, we, America, let me look it up. According to the international law, specifically the UN Charter, using military force against another sovereign state, especially preemptively, constitutes an act of aggression, which is a legal basis for war. That "we," everybody, means we are at war. Okay, and me and Pat, we spoke about this before, and you were like, you know, what's on your mind?
That's
what are you thinking of?
negotiable.
I'm not one of those people, guys. I voted for Trump. I've been with Trump since 2016, when it wasn't cool, when it wasn't the dancing, when it was just, I knew he loved America. I knew the mission. I knew what he wanted to do with all the Hillary Clinton, with everything. Then he was in. We had Russia collusion, no new wars. Biden and them came in. By the way, gave Iran and unfroze $6 billion. So if anybody wants to know why we're in the situation that we're in, besides Israel, besides everything, the last administration not only opened the border, which I'm going to get into right now, they unleashed $6 billion to freaking Iran, a country that says death to America. Okay, and the only thing I fear right now, Pat, the one thing I really hit me and I got like a real like nauseous feeling is those 20 million people that are in here, that are in this country right now.
Right now.
Which one of them is going to do something and blow something up? What Tom Homan said, Pat, about doing something horrible that's going to be worse than 9/11. When it happens, who is going to be behind it? Because I guarantee you, what made me say, let's go and bomb the shit out of Iraq, even though it was a lie, was 9/11. That made us go, you know what? Let's go and kill everybody. Okay? So now that 60-40 split, Pat, mind you, I still support Trump no matter what. I'm not happy. Everybody's always like, oh, you guys, you're jumping ship. No. I can be disappointed in the decision because as a veteran, I don't want war. But this situation, if something does freaking happen, who is it going to be? Who is going to be behind it? And who are they going to blame? Because the only way to get that 40% to join that 60 is something bad happens here and they point Iran. Then that 40% is going to join the 60%. And then it's all over. Another Iraq, another Afghanistan. Pat.
Yeah. So look, a very valid concern of what you have here in regards to what could happen with this in the States. Because to me, if you guys remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, when we were talking about when Israel
shut it down
Iran,
in about 5.
Iran didn't attack Israel first. In this case, they used proxies. So this was Israel's way of saying, "Hey, you're using proxies. Allegedly, we're going to come after you." Great. They made the attack. And then Iran acted very big. It's not like Khamenei helped. He's like, we're going to give you the kind of attack that they will remember forever to come. If you're going to talk like that and you don't attack, you're showing how weak you are. If you're so strong, why don't you make your attack? Now, if they, right now, you hear rumors about how worried they are. There was a message the other day that Ahmadinejad, the former president, was shot and killed. He wasn't. His team reached out to us and told us that did not happen. So we knew about the fact that didn't happen. Khamenei, now President Trump, says in a tweet, I don't know if you guys saw this one, we know exactly where you are. You're an easy target. We talked about this with Nancy Mace on a previous podcast. Now, the gamble why President Trump's voice cracked for half a second. His voice never cracks. The only time I've ever seen President Trump nervous is the first time he had the debate with Hillary Clinton. For the first 10 minutes, he was breathing hard. Just go watch that debate. First one. After that, he's been locked in. And the second term that he's been in, I've never seen him be this resolved about the decisions he's making. The way he's handling the media is the best, maybe the best we've ever seen in the history of presidents handling it. Matter of fact, I would say it's probably the best. We put Reagan up there because Reagan.
I don't know. This guy, he's analyzing Trump's speech way too much for me.
Yeah. I didn't hear the crackling at all. But,
I didn't really get that either.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, all we're going to have to do is wait for the next false flag or,
definitely
see what Iran is actually saying. Have they activated sleeper cells? Everybody's saying they're going to, right? But
they keep telling us all this stuff.
Apparently, they arrested bunches of them or something. I don't know. I can check that out before we go.
Yeah, and I just want to say before I jump off here is everybody have a great one out there.
Yeah.
And enjoy the summer because it's here.
Yeah, it's nice and warm here.
Yeah.
Why is the FBI on alert for sleeper cells? So it doesn't look like they have any at the moment. Actually, White House monitoring possible Iranian sleeper cells. Nothing actually saying that they've gotten any. They're monitoring them. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, nothing as of yet. Alarming report claims sleeper cells may be deployed across Western nations by Tehran. Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, unfortunately.
Yeah. See how well they have blended in or not.
Yeah, and, we'll have to keep our eye open whether it's a false flag or whether it's actually Iran,
Yeah. Could be part of these riots that are going on around the cities.
Yeah.
A lot of people could have thrown a few bucks that way. Well, Max Vision, thanks for having me up.
Yeah, thanks for
I love
coming
this.
up. This was a
Yeah.
good conversation.
I know. Great role. Y'all take care.
All right. Have a good day. All right, guys, that's all we've got for today. So I guess it's kind of a wait and see game, which way they want to take this. Wait for a response out of Iran. I suppose we're supposed to watch for sleeper cells at the moment, but they're already being monitored. So why do you have to worry about it? All right.